What is up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here, and today, welcome back to another episode of Shadows and Pretties. This episode is 108, and today we are doing a third game of the Halo franchise called Halo Free. Now, this game came out in 2007, and this game came out a few years after Halo 2. Now, Halo Free's story centers on the insular war between the 26th century humanity with the alien race known as the Covenant, and the alien parasite, which is the Flood, which we all know what this is going on. Now, yeah, today I'm gonna be reviewing, basically explaining what Halo Free is about. For those who haven't played the game in like a really long time, and for those who have not played it and want a refresher of what happens in the story, well, here's in luck. So, Bungie began making this game, Halo Free, shortly after Halo 2 was being made, and the game was officially announced by E3 in 2006, and its release was preceded by a multiplayer beta select screens purchased for the Xbox 360 game. So, with that being the case, Halo Free was pretty good, and a lot of people really liked Halo Free on Xbox Live for the first 20 hours. So, yeah, Halo Free has sold it around almost 15 million copies, as this was the best-selling video game of 2007. So, with that being the case, that being said, Halo Free was frequently listed as one of the greatest video games of all time. There is a prequel to the game called Halo ODST, which I will talk about in another episode, was released worldwide in 2009, and Halo 4 was released in 2012, which that will be for another video, was developed by a new studio, Free Industries. Now, this game was released also as part of the Halo the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One in 2014, and for Microsoft Windows in July of 2020. So anyways, yeah, the gameplay is kind of like a little bit different. They have some new weapons that were introduced in here. There were some older weapons from like the older episodes, the older games and all that. The characters, Master Chief is back, and we have the Arbiter. We have like a lot of characters into it that was, a really big success. So I'm gonna go through the plot of basically what the game arrives. And now this one has like at least, not many levels as, the second game was, which the second game I think it had like 13 or level no wait, I guess you could say 15, 16 levels. Not really sure, to be honest. So, now, after the events of the comic tie-in Halo Uprising, Master Chief arrives on Earth in East Africa, where he is found by Johnson and the Arbiter. So the Chief is accompanied to return to the UNSC outpost, where Keyes and Lorehood plan to final effort to stop the Covenant leader, the High Prophet of Truth, from activating a Forerunner, their artifact in the Covenant that have been evacuated. So the Chief clears an anti-air Covenant defenses so Hood can lead the Earth's ships against the Prophet, but Truth activates and buries the artifact, creating the slip space evacuated. So, in split space portal, which will allow his followers to enter. A flood-infested ship and eventually crashes and lands nearby. Elite forces arrive to verify the flood-infected areas of Earth, stopping the threat. Followed by a message Cortana left aboard the flood ship. Chief and Arbiter and the elites, with Johnson, Keyes, and the troops, followed Truth through the portal, joining him in this free guilty spark, who aids the Chief as he has no function to fulfill the destruction of his ring world. So traveling through the portal as the humans and the elites discover the maze of the artificial structure known as the Ark, and far more bitter edges of the Milky Way galaxy, here Truth can remotely activate all the halos. So the Flood eventually arrive aboard High Charity in full force, beginning to infest the installation. Truth captures Johnson as he needs a human to use a Forerunner technology. Of course, Keyes is killed in an attempt to rescue Johnson, and he is forced to activate the rings, which the Gravemind forges a truce with Chief and Arbiter to stop Truth, and defeat the remainder of his army, rescuing Johnson and halting the installation's activation. After the Arbiter kills Truth, Gravemind turns on Chief and Arbiter. So and Guilty Spark discovered that the Ark is constructing another Halo to replace the one that Chief previously destroyed, just like in the first movie we're referring back to. So the Chief decides to activate this Halo ring world to eliminate the flood infestation on the Ark while sparing the galaxy from a large amount of destruction. So to activate the ring, Chief has to rescue Cortana, who has the activation index from when they first destroy the first Halo ring, from High Charity, which destroys the city. Arriving on the new Halo, Cortana warns that the Gravemind is trying to rebuild itself on the ring, so the Chief and Arbiter and Johnson travels to Halo's control room to activate the ring. Well, Guilty Spark explains that because the ring is not yet complete, the premature activation will destroy it and activates the ring. So the ring sails destruction on the NUC frigate forward onto Dawn. However, the force of Halo's blast causes a slip space portal to collapse, resulting in the only half onto up to Dawn, carrying Arbiter and Mass Chief making it back to Earth. So the moral service has been held on Earth for the fallen heroes on the Covenant human war, which during the Arbiter and Lordhood briefly exchanged words regarding the fallen Master Chief. So after the memorial service, the Arbiter and his leads depart their home planet, while meanwhile the rear half of the forward onto Dawn drifts onto unknown space. So Cortana drops a distress beacon, but acknowledges that it might be many years before they're rescued. As Master Chief enters in a cryogenic sleep, Cortana conflicts him that she will miss him, but he comforts her by telling her, "Wake me up when you need me." If the game is completed at the legendary level, the scene continues to flow as a piece toward onto Dawn is drifting towards the unknown planet, setting up the events for Halo 4, which I will talk about Halo 4 in the next one. So that's basically the plot of the third Halo game, and I honestly would have to say it's a pretty good plot. I really do like how it's like a follow-up to the first two Halo games. Like, I really like the third game a lot, along with the second movie, but for some reason, I like the third game a lot better. I don't really know why, but it is pretty good. So, yeah. Anyways, Halo 2 was a critical and commercial success, but its development had taken a toll on Bungie, and the game's development was fraught and was rushed, resulting in the final act of the game's campaign being cut. Bungie was openly critical of the game's shortcomings, so they decided decide if they would make Halo free. So as they were making Halo get free, they had some test game players, to test the game, see how it is. And, Halo Free's the development section was more smooth, and it had more time and features like to add Forge mode and some, different modes that it wasn't in. So Halo Free utilizes prominently in-house graphics engine to temporize the graphics technologies as high dynamic range, global lightning, and even the depth of field. And it's pretty interesting on how they, Bungie was able to sit there and do this type of thing. When Halo 3 first came out in 2007, a lot of people really started going crazy on it. Even gamers. Gamers from all over the world even the US and Canada, they started going out and buying the game, playing it, having fun, because, it's popular. So the sales were like all over the roof like crazy. Like, that was how successful the game was, as it was a very popular game at the time when this came out. So, in my honest opinion, what's really cool about the gameplay is when they have, when people, do cooperative, when you both play the story mode, is what first player plays as Master Chief, while player 2 plays as the Arbiter, which is pretty interesting. So, the thing I really do like is that Halo 3 introduced support weapons, which are, two-handed weapons, so the player, but offer greatly increased firepower in return, such as the gravity hammer being one of them, which was a pretty new weapon that we never got. The brute spiker, the mauler, basically some Covenant weapons that were never used in the game. Now, in my honest opinion, I really liked how, Xbox 360 came up with good graphics on this, but I think it's pretty much the same as the Master Chief Collection, except I really like it on the Master Chief Collection a lot better because it's really neat, well made in detail. Oh boy. Now, I'm just gonna sit here and say that, if you like Halo Free, then if you're like a Halo fan or a gamer, then this is the game for you. You should definitely really sit there and, take a look at it. If you're not a fan of Halo, then it's fine. But, to be honest, I remember playing this a lot when I was younger at the time, and this, the Halo games were pretty popular, and this one I really do like how good this one really was, regards to how good the whole concept of it, of its own self, and of how it looked out, and the fact that they changed some graphics, they brought some weapons back, most of the weapons back from the original first two games. Like the assault rifle was not in the second movie, I mean the second game for some reason, but it came back for the third game, which I don't get it why it was not in the second game for some reason. Like, that's always one I wanted to know. Like, I like the plot of how the movie went out. Well, not movie, but, the game. I think it's, pretty neat. So to be honest, I really haven't, played the third game in like a really long time. Well, maybe I actually played a few levels of it the other day, and I remember playing it, and it's a pretty fun level. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a really fun level for anybody who is really smart. They like Halo, and it's pretty neat, to be honest. So a thing I really would have to say is that in Halo, um, really do like how the it takes place after the second game, which the second game came out in 2004. This came out, a few years after the success of the second game. Now, I mean, this game was like selling like hot cakes, every time they come up with Bungie comes up with a new Halo game, because Halo is pretty popular at the time. Now, I mean, I know there was some people that didn't really care for it and all that, but I mean, the sales were, oh my goodness, they were awesome. With the sales, how popular it got. So that's why Halo decided to make more of these games. So unfortunately, well, Bungie stopped producing games, I think, sometime in 2011, which is very unfortunate because Bungie was pretty popular for making these games. And then 343 Industries started coming around, I think, in 2007. Yeah, 2007 it started coming around, and they took over the Halo series. After Halo Reach being Bungie's final game, 343 Industries took over, and they released Halo Combat Evolve Anniversary and Halo 4 and all that, which I really have to say, it's really sad that Bungie, stopped doing the releases of Halo games, and then 343 Industries took over. Like, I mean, it's not bad, not gonna lie, but I still really found this one to be, really, it's still a pretty fun game, and I really do find this one to be really enjoyable. It's still really good. So, with that being the case, and that being said, what did you guys think about Halo 3? Did you all enjoy the game? Did you all not? If you've played it, please let me know in the comments below. And also, what we have done personally to help make the game better. Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when he uploads. That way you guys won't miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because no, there's no outro. Oh, why am I keep saying that? I don't know why. I'm just a little tired today. But anyways, I'll see you in the next video. So peace out, everyone, and I'll stay tuned for another episode.